Mark, his announcement was a little bit low on energy. It lacked specifics. If you were to grade him, how do you think he did, and does he have what it takes to take on all those Republican rivals?
I gave him on BloombergPolitics.com a generous B- because I thought the setting was pretty nice in his hometown, and the personal story he has is a lovely one. But it was, as you said, kind of low energy, not very big on specifics. Seemed more like a personal moment for him as a guy who would like to be president, but not the launch of any sort of movement. And if you look at the people who've won the presidency and the people who look strong this cycle, their announcement tours were a little bit more high octane, a little bit more directed towards, as I said, forming a national movement rather than having a personal moment.
Hey, Mark, who does he wind up taking away from the most? I mean, South Carolina is an earlier primary state for the Republicans. According to the New York Times, it actually chose the correct Republican runner every time except for 1 year since the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, look, except for Newt Gingrich winning it last time, it has picked the eventual nominee. He's a favored son there. He just won a contested Republican reelection to the Senate. And I think if he's in the race and does a good job over the next few months, he could make that primary moot. He could end up being the winner of the primary. I'm not sure how much second place will be worth. He does have the potential also to be a kingmaker. If he decides to run the race and then close to the primary, get out of the race and give his endorsement to someone, that could make a big difference. There is no front runner in South Carolina. If it's not Lindsey Graham, could be Jeb Bush, could be Rick Perry, could be Rand Paul, could be Marco Rubio. There are a lot of people staking a claim to that state. So I'm not sure how it will play out, but it is an unusual factor. It's have to go back to 1992, Tom Harkin from Iowa running for president for the Democratic nomination to find one of these favored son candidates from an early state, and look how that shakes up the dynamics, because those early states are super important, even though they don't have a lot of delegates.
Yeah, so a lot remains to be seen. I also want to talk about the results of the Bloomberg Des Moines Register poll. It's on the Bloomberg.com website, Bloomberg.com/politics. Tell us about the results and whether you were surprised by any of them.
Well, Scott Walker, who gave a splashy speech in Iowa several months ago, is leading on the Republican side. That's a bit of a surprise in the sense that he's not campaigned hard in the state, but it's not a surprise in the sense that talking to the other Republican operations in Iowa, people have said right now Walker is strong, and Walker's strength in Iowa stands out. No one is particularly strong in New Hampshire. As I said before, no one in South Carolina. So Walker's lead there, not all that surprising, but very significant. On the Democratic side, the big news, a poll out this morning, which we'll be talking about, and with all due respect at 5 o'clock, is Bernie Sanders tripled his support in our poll from last time we polled Iowa caucus goers. He's gone from 5% to 15%. Now, he's still miles behind Hillary Clinton, but he has emerged with a very strong campaign, drawing huge crowds in the last week in Iowa, the biggest that any candidate in either party has drawn, as Hillary Clinton's primary rival for the Democratic nomination. And he is shaping up to be someone with appeal to grassroots and a potential problem for Hillary Clinton, at least rhetorically, as she tries to coast her way to the nomination.